ASMR videos from me, you're welcome to check out the link. That'll be right below. If you just look in the description box below, you'll see a blue link. If you click the link, it'll take you over to my Patreon. press a button.